joy. Can I say Tom? This year, I want to lean more into you guys and the agents than ever before and pulling the most out of each other. Open to your feedback and making adjustments because ultimately, guys, you guys are combined more involved and more in the market, more in the team every single day than I am at the point that I'm at, right? And I think for me, what's so important is making sure that we just continue to be on the same page and delivering the same value proposition, you know, as we go forward. So thank God you handed me that back because I was looking at the straight up wrong notes. All right, guys, everybody, thank you.
All right, we're starting, thank you.
Well, at least T didn't leave her voice back in 2025, right? Guys, January team meeting. Starting the year off just as we ended. Team meeting starting 20 minutes late, not 15. All right, everybody. Little bit of a different flow this week and what we usually do. I usually come up here and like to, you know, set your mind and really set the stage for the meeting and different things like that. I don't even know what day it is. 14th, we're already halfway through the month. Like, I do want to turn the page on a lot of that New Year stuff, right? But there is one thing I want to read here. Important message I want to ground us all in today that we really leaned into a lot over the first 2 weeks is really understanding that nothing changes unless we change, right? Just because the year and the calendar flip, right, doesn't mean you woke up in a different person, in a different setting. And what it basically said was, you know, it says, one day you'll realize you've already lived through some of the best days of your life. And you didn't even know it, really, at that present time. You were too busy chasing what's next and worrying about what's missing, thinking that happiness was something that you would find and arrive at one day, once finally it all made sense. But while you were waiting, you were laughing with people who always won't be around. You were making memories in places that you'll drive past one day and feel a certain something about it, but not be able to explain. You were standing in good moments that felt like the good old days, but you didn't even realize it until they were gone. And that's the one thing that nobody tells you. You rarely recognize success when you're standing in it. It feels too ordinary to matter, too small to matter, until it becomes a memory you give anything to experience once again. But right now, you're still in it. You still have the people, you still have the moments, you still have the chances to live the ordinary days that you will look back on one day and call some of the favorite times of your life. So stop waiting for life to start. You're already living it. Right? And I think that was a good way to set the stage, right? Because I think at the beginning of the year, you go on and all it is new me, new you, new me. Like everything's new. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of times it takes some time, and it's a hard thing for us to do as agents, entrepreneurs, and leaders, is to step back and understand the presence and the opportunity you're in. You know, I've sat in front of this room multiple times over the past 2.5, 3 years, and man, this year sucked. And it wasn't really until these past 2 weeks, like after I, spent some real quality time kind of recharging and, recharging my battery, spending it with my family, I realized I have everything I ever wished for. Yeah, I got problems, just like everybody else, right? But we go back to the story of the cookie jar, right? And I know a lot of you guys know that, but if we're all sitting here at a table and everyone puts their problems in the cookies and they drop them in the jar and we're all sitting at a table and you put your jar in the table, I guarantee you would pick up your jar and start munching like a motherfucker. Ruin that. You'd start eating your cookies up real quick. But that's what I want you to understand and realize and go back, guys. Because as much as you've gone through, that's growth and that's development. And that's at the end of the day what we really focus on and lean on here every single day. So I want you guys to change effective today. No more new me, new you, all that stuff. Live that as a lifestyle. Make that a habit. Make that who you are as a person. But then every day, embrace and be excited that you're living the best days of your life, whether you realize it or not. You are never going to get younger than this exact moment you are today, right? And when you can understand and harness that power, be very clear on what you want in your life and what you want from your business, everything gets a lot easier.
It's for lunch. Pre-milk. Cutlets, baby, cutlets. You gotta stay pure.
And that's ultimately what really motivates and empowers me every day. So why don't you start off and, kind of tell me, I wanted to start with that, but kind of tell me too, just give me a little overview of how you're feeling. So I'm not going to start this one out like I usually do and say, busy day today, because we're already halfway through it. As you can see, I'm kind of shot laying on the couch. We're just doing things backwards. It's been a busy day. Welcome back to the vlog. It's team meeting day. So we've already kind of been up and at 'em, running at full speed. Kicked my morning off with some leadership calls, some Steel City and some brokerage things. Really excited to start telling you guys more about that stuff as well. Definitely want to lean into that story and tell you guys how I'm operating two large organizations, doing over $500 million in sales between the two, all at the same time. It's been an exciting journey. That being said, had some kickoff calls, ran right into it, did another, had a little Zoom feature I had to be on to introduce somebody, then jumped right into team meeting. The message today was, obviously it's January, right? New year, new me, all those different things. The fact is what we wanted to do is kind of break away from that and turn the page from that and look ahead and look forward. So what the message really was about today was just being appreciative of where you're at and at the current moment. We had good energy and good vibes. We were playing some games that I am the only person, by the way, that won both times, best hands on the team. And that being said, we had great energy, and I think that was just a really good message for them to kind of build as their foundation through the rest of the month until we see and do that again in February. So impactful team meeting. And then I even forgot, right before that, we actually introduced our first, it was the first meeting for our 2026 ALC. So we operate the same way as like a Keller Williams franchise and brokerage does, but also at the team level. And we implement a ALC, which is led by our agents, select chair people. We have people from growth to agent advocacy and standards, all the different things, culture, that really what they are is they get to represent our agent corps and get to help make changes and be impactful to what we do as a leadership team and ultimately as a company. So it was their first meeting, great energy, a lot of excitement. So, it was a good day, so we had a really good kick and morning start here. And, now I'm about to jump into some of my standard day job things. I have a bunch of, I got some sales things to kind of handle. I got a couple of past clients I got to reach out to. One client wants to rent their home. They have a great interest rate. We're talking about whether renting or buying and how they should move out to them and, how they should look at their financials with making their next move out towards their second home and their new home. I also have a listing conversation and consult as well. So had a development meeting already as well. So as you can see, I wear many hats here, but I think that's what makes my side and my story a little bit unique and and a different perspective is, I'm elbow to elbow still on the ground here selling every single day and, still leading, like I said, $500 million in sales and, trying to impact people across multiple levels, across multiple different stages of their career, things like that. So, but for me, at the end of the day, I don't feel like I'm at work. I can just kind of here doing the things that I'm doing that I love to do and leading the people that I love. So we're going to wrap it up by heading to the Union League at 5 o'clock for their January event. So we're going to hit that from 5 to 7. We're going to bring a few agents with us, do some networking, say hello to a few people, and then get home to the family, unwind the night, and hopefully get some sleep. So I appreciate you guys tagging along. I'm looking forward to the next one and see you soon.